Good morning, children, and happy Friday. So this is the Year 3-4 learning journey, and it is Friday the 29th of January, and this is your AM lesson. So let's recap our challenge this week, our challenge question. Can I write sentences using fronted adverbials to make a narrative for Baboon on the Moon? So we are pretty much 3/4 of the way through. So remember, today we're going to try and use fronted adverbials to give more information, and the narrative side of it is to write a story for Baboon on the Moon. Now, some of you need to start thinking about making our work join together. So when you do your sentences today, think about how you can link it like a story. So if you finished at one part, think, how in the next sentence am I going to say he's got from this place to this place? So if you've already smashed your target of maybe reading your sentence aloud or checking that it's punctuated properly, remember we are trying to be determined as possible to seek out a new challenge. So if you've already thought that you've smashed your challenge this week, then maybe you could use one of these on the board now. I can use fronted adverbials with commas, so look through your work. Have you been using commas correctly? If not, that can be your challenge today. I can use adjectives, so within a story we try our best to come up with the best description so that the reader can see our story inside their mind as they read it. I can punctuate my sentences properly. Now, most of you will not be using this challenge today because I know that most of you have already got this one. So please try and use one of the top ones, or you may be challenging yourself to use a fronted adverbial from reading that you found in your reading book. So remember, our gateway is to be an explorer. So think about this today. Have you challenged yourself? Have you shown how determined you can be? Because we're following our passions and seeking challenges in order to aspire to be the very best version of ourselves. So all of you now are a better version of yourself than you were on Monday to today, because you worked so hard on your writing and you are now a better writer. I have no doubt that all of you are better writers. So let's have a recap on fronted adverbials. There are 5 types. We are going to focus on 3 this morning to help us with our work, and we're going to do it with this picture. So where, the fronted adverbials that say where are place adverbials. When, they are time adverbials, and how, they are manner adverbials. So the first one we're going to have a look at is this little girl here. So she's throwing a snowball. I want you to think about where. Where is she throwing the snowball? What is she next to? Could you talk about the tree? Could you talk about the ice rink? Where is she? Pause the video now and have a little bit of a think. Where is she? So the main sentence that we've got is the girl is throwing a snowball. What are you going to add to the front of it to say where she's throwing the snowball? So here's our main clause. The girl is throwing the snowball. What ideas did you come up with? Here's mine. Next to the tree, the girl is throwing the snowball. What did you come up with? Tell someone in your house which one you came up with. Now the next focus we're going to have a look at is when. So this little girl here, she's getting her skates on. So when is this girl going to start skating? Once she's done what? So here's the main clause. The girl went skating on the ice. When did she go skating on the ice? What has she got to do first? So she went skating on the ice after doing what? Pause the video now and have a think. What fronted adverbial are you going to come up with? So here's my example. After getting her new skates on, the girl went skating on the ice. Remember, we're trying to challenge ourselves today, and I challenged myself by including a little bit of description telling you that her skates were new. The last one, how. How is this girl here, or lady, skating on the ice? This is manner. Is she doing it confidently? So here's our main clause. The lady went skating on the ice for the first time. How did she do it? Pause the video now and have a think. What fronted adverbial could you use? A manner. So she's not doing it confidently. So confidently the lady went skating on the ice for the first time. That wouldn't work. How is she skating? Well done if you came up with this one. Nervously, the lady went skating on the ice for the first time. Let's look at today's work. So we're starting from this part of Baboon on the Moon. Let's watch the clip together. For this sentence starter, I want you to think about where he's going now. We've talked about him filling up the tank. Where is he now going? There we go. So let's think of a place adverbial for this one. Where did the baboon go? Pause the video now and think about how you can describe where he's going. Here's some examples. Well done if you came up with your own. If you haven't come up with your own, don't worry, you can use one of mine. So we've got in the hut, in the shed, and then I've challenged myself to come up with some description. In the small wooden building. So let's think about the main clause. What did the baboon do when he went into the hut or the shed or the small wooden building? He made a massive noise. He was rummaging around for something. So your sentence could be, in the hut, the baboon started to rummage around for something. Picture 2. So if you still need more time for picture 1, pause it now, go back on the video a little bit and we'll have a look at picture 2. Let's look at what baboon did next. So we've said that he's been rummaging around for something. There we go. So for this one, let's think of a time adverbial. So when did the moon turn on? After doing what? Pause the video now and think about a fronted adverbial. Here we go. So the moon lit up after finding the handle and pulling it. So after finding the handle and pulling it, the moon lit up. And that quite nicely links our sentences together. We've just said that he's been rummaging around and now he's found the handle and he's pulled it. The moon lit up. Pause the video now if you need some time or you need to borrow and magpie some of the words that I've got on the screen. Now let's move on to picture 3. So now the baboon is sat on the moon. So the baboon has just cried, bless him. So now there are different ways that you could link the two pictures together. We've just said that the moon had been lit up. So we need to now think about how we can link the moon being lit up to how the baboon is now sitting and the fact that he's crying. So here's my attempt to say that he's moved on. Sat alone on the moon, the baboon gazed at the earth with a tear in his eye. After pulling the handle to make the moon light up. So that's our last section today. Again, if you need some support, pause the video and think about how you can magpie my sentence to help you. You could also use a time adverbial and saying, after having pulled the handle, the baboon went to go and sit on the moon, but he started to cry as he looked at the earth. So there are lots of different possibilities, but if you need support, feel free to magpie some of the words that I've got here. Join me in a moment for Friday PM lesson.